Hello everybody, can you see and hear me okay? Can we just get a few comments coming in? If you can see and hear me okay. I shall wait a couple of minutes just to see. Yes, wonderful, wonderful. Sorry I'm a little late, guys. I'm having internet problems because I don't actually get my Wi-Fi until the 3rd of February. So it's 4G and lots of fun getting a signal. So, okay. Witches' ladders. Let me just start by saying that knot magic is ancient. Absolutely ancient. Many cultures have their own forms of knot magic. The Celts were very fond of knot magic. And the idea of knot magic is that you tie your intent into the rope. Okay, so you can use hemp, like a hemp rope, like a twine, a natural twine, wool. Use something natural, not a kind of a sort of a fake man-made sort of material. Use something as sheep, as wool from a sheep, sort of twine. Very natural, old style sort of rope. Because obviously this is what they were using back in the day, and it's linked to nature and has more power. There's some very famous witches' ladders around the UK that were found, and it was believed that if a witch were to wish you dead, she would tie your death into the knots, and she would hide the witch's ladder, and you would die. And the only way that you could avoid your death is if you found the witch's ladder and undid all the knots. So this is the point of the knot magic. You tie your intent into the rope. Now, some people use 3 strands of twine. That's a three-strander. But there is nothing more powerful than 3 times 3. 9. So the traditional way to make a witch's ladder was 3 plaited lengths. So that's 3 pieces of twine plaited. That's 3 pieces of twine plaited. Now, in order to get it, because you need it long for 9 knots, so we're going to do another one. So this is 3 pieces of twine, and I'm going to make my final plait. So if anybody's watching and we're doing a bit of a Blue Peter, and you're going to join in with me, you need 3 pieces of twine, and then plait them. Okay. Now, you don't have to, some people are so neat. They just do these really lovely, neat little plaits, and they're beautiful. I'm not like that. I'm terrible. So you don't have to be neat and perfect. So, hence this, I'm going to cover my legs up, because I need my knees. So I'm trapping the 3 pieces of twine between my knees, and I'm now going to plait. And because obviously they're very long pieces of twine, they will get taffled up, and it'll be all sort of like, oh, fun, this is great. But this is what you do. You can put it over a nail. Some people have a nail on a piece of wood, and they put the twine on the nail and then plait from there. Some people hold it in the teeth. Some people give it to a friend to hold. So however you can do it, get something to sort of hold the end and plait the 3 pieces of twine. I like to try and do this when the cats are asleep, because if you do it when they're awake, then you end up plaiting a cat into your witch's ladder. Now obviously the idea of a witch's ladder is it's magic stored, it's magic saved, so you can use these quite in many ways. you can, when you're very strong, feeling very powerful, particular moon or whatever, where the energy comes through, you can make a witch's ladder and then you can go back to it later, and you've plaited your intent into this ladder. So obviously some people focus religiously all the way through the making of the witch's ladder. Every single plait, they focus their intent. Others just do it for the knots. So it depends on how you are with your intent. If you've got a very strong intent, you could just sort of put it into the knots. Some people who really like to do things fully, thoroughly, put your intent into the entire plaiting process. When people use these for cursing, they use the whole intent. The whole plaiting process was used basically for intent. So they would be plaiting the curse into the witch's ladder and then tying the knots to tie the curse in. One was found many years ago now, and on each knot there was blackthorn thorns, basically the thorns from a blackthorn bush, which were called the pins of slumber back in the day, and they used to put them in pockets, blackthorn thorns, because it was, you know, they're quite powerful for curses. And you know, the pins of slumber, as in death, you know, you could kill somebody with a blackthorn thorn curse. They used to make the blackthorn blasting rod, and the 3 twines of blackthorn, which were again 3 pieces of blackthorn twisted into like a helix, and twisting the magic into it and use it as a curse tool. So blackthorn thorns are really good if you are using it for harm. This is going to be a healing one. I'm using shells today. A lot of people like to use feathers in a healing witch's ladder, but as the person I'm healing with this lives near the sea, we've gone for shells. Hello, Athelstan has woken up. Don't start chewing my witch's ladder, Athelstan. He's always having a wash. Good. I'll try and distract him. No, Athelstan. So I'll speed up a bit because the cat's woke up. So as I've said before, 3 pieces of twine plaited. If your plaiting skills aren't great, that's fine. It doesn't have to be perfect. My plaiting skills aren't particularly... Oh, no. No. Yes, say hello to everybody then. This is church. Go on then. Mine not great, my plaiting skills. You know, I've known people who can make far neater plaits than I can, but it doesn't matter. Obviously, if you want it pretty, use ribbon. Some people love to do a ribbon witch's ladder, but again, be careful what ribbon. And they can get a lot of man-made fibres in ribbon, and the more natural the material that you're using, the better. Church, come on. The joys of cats. So, once you have plaited your 3 pieces of twine together, then obviously you do it again with 3 more pieces of twine, and then again with 3 more pieces of twine, and you've got 3 plaits then. So, and this is the old way of doing it, the traditional way of doing it, with the 3 being the magic number and 3 3s and 9. So you're sealing in, you know, into the magic. Very strong magic. Okay, so once you have 3 plaits, then, you know, exciting though it is, great, you know, you plait them again. So, lots of plaiting involved. Keep it nice and long, because putting 9 knots in, you know, is you can't have a short one. So keep your plaits lovely and long. And I've got one shorter than the other there. Not to worry. We'll fluff it somehow. So 3 plaits knotted at the end. So this is your first knot. So I talk to mine. I say it out loud because I like saying things out loud. It's a spell after all. So I tell it what it is. So with this knot, I seal in my intent. So this first knot, pull it through, and you've got three plaits, which you now plait. So up until this point, obviously I've done my 3 plaits quite, you know, sort of like a normal thing. I've not really thought about it, but now I'm going to start putting my intent in. So as I'm plaiting the 3 plaits, then my intent with this ladder is to heal. This is a healing tool, a powerful piece of magic, fueled by the power of my intent. So start to really sort of focus and feel your intent going in. You will do what I say. You are to heal. You will heal. Plaiting. Again, it doesn't matter if the plaits are perfectly uniform. Just get it nice and tightly done, binding your intent, sort of focusing on what this is for. You're telling it what it is. This is what you're doing, you're healing. You're a healing ladder, fueled by my magic, fueled by my intent, fueled by my power. You will heal. Focus in on it. If you don't want to say this out loud, that's fine. Say it in your head. I sometimes get a little chant going. So we're coming to the end now of this. So go all the way with it to the end, plaiting the 3 plaits. And obviously now you come to the part where it starts to sort of get really quite intense, really, with your own intent, and start to put the knots in. So I knot the bottom, and that's my second knot. So again, I'm knotting in my intent, forcing that in. Right, I've now got a witch's ladder. So I'm now going to knot. So each knot, with this knot, I seal in my intent. 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 Okay, so each knot you tie 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. With this knot, I seal in my intent. So there's 9 knots in this string, and this string is made up of 9 pieces of string. And I can come back to this later on, and I can count down. I can literally get hold of it and go, this knot, this is my intent, this knot, this is my magic. My magic is tied into this. Now, if you do them right and you sort of put that in there, you get a feeling. It feels quite strong. I get angry when I'm doing something to heal, because I get angry with the disease, with the ailment. So all magic is a form of pulling something in or pushing something out, as we know. So just because we're healing, it doesn't make it pretty. You know, I'm driving out the illness, driving out the disease from this person. And as I said, this person lives by the sea. So to mark each knot, this is where you can get quite creative. You put something through near the knot to mark the knot. So as I come back to this, because I'm going to hang this up, and as I come back to this, there'll be a shell to mark where the knot is. So that's knot number 1, and then underneath knot number 2 I'll put another 1, etc. Some people put a feather. You'll often see them, and certainly in the old days you'd see them with a feather sort of pushed through. It can be any feather. Every time I talk about feathers now, I always think about Victoria who does the feather art. And I'd love to make a witch's ladder for Victoria with seagull feathers through it for some reason. I just can really see seagull feathers as a protection feather around Victoria. But yeah, any feather. I mean, again, if you're using it for something negative, then you know you could pick the feathers accordingly for healing, etc. Whatever you're doing. And once it's sort of completed, as I said, I'm going to hang this up. At one time, they used to make them with hair. So again, if you have a friend or somebody who needs healing, who can donate some hair to plait in. You know, I'm not expecting somebody to be bald, you know, to sort of make the entire thing out of hair. But you could plait some hair in to the witch's ladder to just give more of a connection. Very much like a poppet, you know, when people put fingernail clippings or hair in a poppet, you can plait hair in the witch's ladder. Just sort of deepening the connection between it and the person. So, you know, that's kind of it. If you want to, you can put more than one thing through. You know, some people put a shell and a feather, or, you know, something that represents their friend or whoever they're healing. And then you hang it up. I usually sleep with one above the bed, you know, which is designed for protection, to protect me as I sleep. And you can do this sort of a similar thing. I mean, there are a couple of blackthorn thorns in my protection one, because I don't know, if anybody sort of broke into my house or something to hurt me in the night, then yeah, I'm going to put some blackthorn thorns in there. I'm not going to make them a cup of tea, so it would be, you know, I wouldn't be wishing them well. So yes, that's in protection, because that's what, obviously, old-fashioned curses were protection, so that's where that comes in. So pop your shells in, or your feathers, or your some people put seeds, little seeds in, you know, apple seeds and some people put charms on them. You know, you can get these pretty charms now of little pentagrams or whatever. And you can sort of feed them in or tie them on the end, depending on how aesthetic you are, if you're into pretty things. Me, I kind of like them a bit weird, a bit rustic, a bit odd looking, a bit old fashioned. I kind of like old magic stuff. So I tend to look, you know, quite oldie worldy. And probably a bit more like they used to do, you know, back in the day. I'm kind of more bothered about that than pretty. So, obviously, everything you do to this, if you can keep up the intent, the focus of the intent, the better. And I tend to ram mine into the knots. I tend to be quite forceful about it. And sort of force the magic into the knots. Other people are a lot more gentle and sort of put the magic, you know, through it as they're building it and very gently do it. But that's article. So this is now a magical tool. So I can't do anything else with it. This is something, again, I think people forget. If you have a magical tool, you use it as a magical tool. You don't do anything else with it. So people who open letters with their athame, you know, don't do it. A magical tool is for magical purpose only. And so nothing on this now can be used for anything else. This is its purpose. So I shall hang this up and I shall come back to it and then count down the knots. And add more intent when I feel like it. You know, I can also, some people use them to store magic, to store energy. Come back to it later. You know, if they're feeling particularly strong and powerful, they'll store energy in a witch's ladder and then come back to it. But they were often found under the bed or in the attic, you know, in cottages back in the day. There was 2 or 3 found down in Dorset. Quite fascinating stories behind them. Research the witch's ladder. There's some really lovely old stories. Quite always a bit, you know, about doing magic for harm, of course, but yeah, that's how witchcraft kind of got famous, isn't it? So yeah, but that's the witch's ladder for you. So any questions, any issues, if you sort of make one and it doesn't go right, or you're unsure of something, there's a problem, just message me, you know, just tell me how it's going. I'd also like to see some, you know, if you make some, because some people are so much more creatively, you know, that way inclined than me. They make some incredible, I remember when I did a workshop of this, some of the creations that people did, they were beautiful, absolutely stunning. I'm there with my, you know, thing with a few bits in, you know, but they did amazing jobs. So I do like to see what people make. I think it's great. So yeah, 3 pieces of twine plaited, another 3 plaited, another 3 pieces plaited, then plait all 3 together, all 3 plaits. Putting your intent in, and certainly put your intent in the knots. The 9 knots are very important, and you can come back to that and count them. You know, you sort of think about your magic and intensify your intent. For whatever purpose you're using it for. So thank you very much. I hope you enjoyed that. And yeah, I'll read all the comments now. Bye-bye.